Lord forgive me for this trap shit. Sergeant Smack making backflip. Telly Hank did with the action. With the vital speaking Spanish. Frank Matthews, how I vanish. Poof. Came back like I'm King Tut. Gold BBS is on a beamer. When Fat Cat was 10 queens up. Ball off the profit, not the re-up. Fly like Puerto Rican Jesus. Uptown like I'm Baby Maine. Just caught a touchdown from the Bay.
State's Attorney Kim Foxx says the Black Souls protected their territory by murdering, kidnapping, beating, and intimidating witnesses. Foxx says they controlled heroin and cocaine sales for 15 years.
But the love of money is a mother. Took a lot of people away and brought a lot of people in.
Money is something Wayne Edwards seems to know something about. On the west side, they call him Jack Bobo, and they see evidence of his success. Diamond bracelets, diamond rings, Dom Perignon, and long limousines. Jack Bobo, according to his indictment last month, is one of the leaders of the Black Souls street gang. Black Souls and Jack Bobo, according to the indictment, sold $50,000 worth of heroin on Chicago streets every day. Does the name Jack Bobo mean anything to you?
Yep.
What does it mean?
He was a big time.
How do you know?
Because he had us. I used to cop from him.
Cop from him, you bought from
Right.
him. We'll call her Jane. She's 26, the mother of small children, and an addict. Her addiction, she says, is to China white heroin.
White heroin is becoming the drug of choice. It's pushing crack cocaine out of the way. Addicts that I've talked to said that it's a much more mellow high. They snort it so they don't have the danger of needles and the spread of AIDS, so it's becoming the drug of choice out there.
It's clear that those coming to buy China white come not just from the city, but the suburbs. Consider this raid on the west side just 2 months ago.
Where are you from, Jeff?
Spring.
Who buys China white?
Everybody.
When you say everybody, you mean who?
All types of races, all types of classes. You have the suburban housewife, you have the businessman, college students.
But how does China white make its way to the streets of Chicago and into the suburbs here? The answer comes from half a world away. China white has its beginnings in the poppy fields of the Golden Triangle, where Thailand borders on what we once called Burma. These fields will yield a staggering 225 tons of China white this year, and according to the DEA and Customs, 70% of that will leave Thailand for destination points in the United States, including Chicago. The amount of heroin now leaving this country is so plentiful and so readily available that a supply of China white can leave Bangkok in the morning and be on a Chicago street corner or in a suburb on sale by noon the next day. The delivery system, according to Don Perone of the DEA in Thailand, is made up of Nigerian drug runners.
Nobody was going to predict that we were going to have what appears to be the equivalent to a Yukon gold rush of West Africans coming to Thailand to score drugs and bring them on into the United States.
But that's what we have.
That's exactly what we have. You're seeing the results of it in Chicago.
A case in point is this man. Remy Baker, according to federal officials and Chicago police, is high on the ladder of international Nigerian drug runners. And Baker is accused of having a direct link to Jack Bobo and the Black Souls of Chicago. Baker and 3 other Nigerians are indicted for the delivery of heroin here. Jack Bobo and others are accused of operating an open-air market selling that China white heroin at Walnut and Holman on Chicago's west side.
There's a lot of heroin coming here, and like I said, when they bring it here and it's pure, it's cut and then put on the streets, the amounts are just staggering.
Equally staggering is one of the ways heroin gets here. On an October evening at the Tokyo Hotel just off Michigan Avenue, police arrested a Nigerian woman who had swallowed 106 condoms that were wrapped with electrical tape and filled with almost 3/4 of a kilo of pure heroin. She now awaits trial. Drug couriers pass each day through Bangkok's busy airport, and whether they've swallowed heroin or carried it in their luggage, most of them are not caught. They exist because the demand for China white is increasing. The purity and the power of this drug is seductive, and so too are the enormous profits to be made by those who sell it.
You can make one of the largest busts and do one of those Cecil B. DeMille press conferences, and at the end of the day, the bad guys are still going to reorganize and regroup and try to come back again.
So you're frustrated?
Yeah, I'm very frustrated. We've got to be in this game for the long pull. We can't be in it today and out of it tomorrow.
Because, say, Ferrone and other law enforcement officials, heroin, once the ghetto drug of junkies, now is attracting a following among the middle class.
It's the fad for today. It's the drug to be in with.
A spokesman for the Nigerian government in Washington says though some Nigerians are engaged in illegal activity, it does not represent the activity or attitude of the majority of Nigerians. The attorney for Jack Bobo said his client is innocent and will vigorously fight the charges against him. We have been unable to locate the attorney for Remy Baker. We will, however, continue to report on issues involving the sale of China White.
Now to a developing story. The reputed leadership of one of Chicago's most violent gangs is headed to prison, and others could follow.
A guilty verdict came down late today after a 2-month trial, despite 5 jurors being dismissed just days ago. CBS 2's Audrina Begas is here now with more on the convictions. Audrina.
Good evening, Jim and Mai. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Fox says it took years to build this case and 100 witnesses came forward to testify. This is Cook County's first test of the state RICO Act. It's used by police and prosecutors to uproot the leaders of violent street gangs. The Black Souls gang leader, along with 5 other managers, the leaders of a gang that the Cook County State's Attorney says wreaked havoc and terror in Chicago's West Garfield Park neighborhood,
including committing an execution-style murder in broad daylight of a neighborhood man who was brave enough to report them.
State's Attorney Kim Fox says the Black Souls protected their territory by murdering, kidnapping, beating, and intimidating witnesses. Fox says they controlled heroin and cocaine sales for 15 years.
Today's verdict is a victory for that neighborhood, which deserves safety and peace that the Black Souls robbed them of for years.
All 6 men were found guilty of racketeering and criminal drug conspiracy. During the case, 5 jurors were dismissed. The Chicago Tribune reports 1 juror was found to have lied. Another allegedly made racist remarks. A third lost consciousness.
Certainly the circumstances of the last couple of days with jury deliberations was quite unique, and we'll leave it at that.
This is the first case to be tried in Cook County under the Illinois RICO law passed in 2012.
What this law allowed was for us to look at the enterprise that this gang was operating under.
Next up is sentencing, and all 6 men could face up to life in prison. Jim and Mai.
Thank you, Audrina.
Yo, we back. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb ties. We on our way to Illinois with it. Chicago. Garfield Park to be exact. All my niggas from the shop. All my niggas from Garfield Park. Y'all niggas tap in. Y'all know it's like we from round this bitch. On phone them. What up though? Now, today we gonna be covering an organization by the name of the Black Souls. Our organization that started out, got their name, the Black Souls. It looked like they went through a series of name changes from when the gang was formed. And we also gonna highlight an individual by the name of Wayne Jack Bobo Edwards, who was at one time the leader of this notorious Chicago gang. Now, based on my research, it looks like the Black Souls started in 1962 at the near West Side neighborhood, and it was formed at the old roller rink in 2550 West Madison Street, according to the internet. Now, that's going to be Madison and Rockwell, and the organization was founded by a guy by the name of Horace Willis, but he also went by the name of King Pee-wee. So it's definitely imperative that we speak on him, because without him the gang would not be formed. Now, King Pee-wee and the earliest Black Souls were said to be roller skaters that often skated in the James Brown style, JB style skating that became very popular in Chicago in the 1960s. Now, the details surrounding King Pee-wee is kind of murky, but some say he was a musician and some said that he introduced
the downbeat to the west side of Chicago. Now, the Black Souls were not formed for the purposes of gangbanging. They were a group of friends that hung out on the west side. It was said that they loved music, they loved skating and dancing, and then got into some trouble at times. And in the early stages, it was said that there was no drug activity with the Black Souls. Now, by all accounts, the Black Souls started getting very popular in the 1960s, and that caught the attention of David Barksdale and the Black Disciples, which we all know is one of Chicago's biggest gangs, and they were actually on the south side. The Black Disciples campaigned all over the city, from south side to the west side to the north side, taking in many organizations into their alliance, and that was starting in, I want to say, like 1966. Now, sometime in between 1966 and 1968, the Black Souls end up merging with the Black Disciples, and by some accounts, it was said that they were almost left on an island in some instances, because the Black Disciples were actually, like I said, located on the south side, and the Black Souls were on the other side of town. So that kind of, as some people said, the Black Souls never represented their disciple affiliation because of that distance. Now, less than 10 years later, in 1970, King Pee Wee was attempting to rob a store when Chicago police arrived, and they ended up shooting him in the back over 30 times, killing him, presumably leaving a slot open for the leadership of the gang. Now, after Pee Wee was killed, Jack Bobo took control of the organization. Now, this was the time when the Black Souls merged with another gang called the Soul Brothers, and they created the Mad Black Soul Brothers. And that's how the organization first took over Fifth City. So it wasn't long after that before they kind of dropped the brothers off, and they were just the Mad Black Souls. But a lot of people still kind of knew them as the Black Souls. So now the gang's infrastructure has changed a lot from that time, and it's pretty much a lot of moving variables and a lot of parts. But it took the government nearly 3 decades from when Jack Bobo assumed leadership of the gang in 1970. And I want to say that news clip that we watched was from 1994. He was finally arrested. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be sometime in 1998, where the government alleged that he was the main drug supplier of the gang, and they ended up sentencing him to 30 years in prison, and that's currently where he is now. So that's just a little brief history on the gang. Y'all can go online. They have tons of information on them. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. Y'all make sure y'all follow me on Twitter. It's POP_A_LOT. Y'all hit my direct message. Let me know who we need to cover. Y'all get in the comment box. Let me know who we need to cover. Y'all get under the pictures on the gram. All that shit. Y'all already know what it is with me. It's your boy Popalot. Mobb, ties.